Three of the most fundamental pillars coaches constantly emphasize on offense, fast break points, offensive rebounding, and getting to the free throw line, are exactly what propelled the Nuggets to a gritty Game 1 win over the Thunder. These aren't flashy elements. They don't show up in highlight reels the same way a step-back three or a poster dunk might, but they win games. Each of those areas, transition offense, crashing the glass, and attacking with force, require relentless effort for all 48 minutes, sometimes even more. And that's what Denver brought. They outworked Oklahoma City. That hustle turned into a 121-119 victory. Now, sure, it's easy to fixate on the Thunder's late-game missteps. Fouling up three with plenty of time left or fouling in the backcourt, those decisions hurt. But let's zoom out for a second. Before those final moments, Denver had already put in the work to earn the right to be in that position. Here's the bottom line. When you add up fast break points, second chance opportunities, and free throws made, the Nuggets racked up 78 points. The Thunder, on the other hand, only racked up 68. That's a 10-point edge in the gritty areas of the game. Trim just 3 points off that margin, and we're talking about OKC holding a 1-0 lead instead. Now, factor in the reality that OKC had no answers for the Murray-Jokic pick and roll or Jokic's ISO plays in Game 1. It becomes clear the Nuggets didn't just steal Game 1, they methodically positioned themselves to capitalize on every Thunder mistake down the stretch. Let's take a closer look. This was Denver's very first offensive possession of Game 1 after a missed OKC shot. Watch Jokic. He out-hustles Chet down the floor, literally sprints, and by the time he gets the ball from Christian Braun, his momentum carries him straight into the paint, resulting in a soft floater over Chet. If Jokic hesitates for even a moment or doesn't sprint the floor with that urgency, Chet probably gets back in time to disrupt the drive. And if Chet is there, the rest of the Thunder might be in position to rotate and help. But that wasn't the case. Instead, Jokic set the tone right away. Fast forward a few plays. Murray grabs a rebound off another OKC miss. Let the clip roll slowly, and as I pause it right here, you can see both Chet and Hartenstein in the frame. One of them should be responsible for Jokic, but honestly, it doesn't even matter at this point. Now watch as the clip resumes. There's Jokic, already ahead of everyone. He sprinted past all 5 Thunder players and even his own teammates. By the time the Thunder players realized this, it was already too late. Jokic has already sealed off Chet and is waiting for the lob pass from Murray. Shea is forced to switch and ends up biting on a shot fake, giving Jokic another easy bucket at the rim. This isn't random. This is deliberate. This is the Nuggets' game plan in action. And here's the thing. OKC wasn't just a good defensive team in the regular season. They were the best. They led the entire league in defensive rating with an elite mark of 106.6. To put that into perspective, the gap between OKC and the second-best defense, the Orlando Magic, was larger than the gap between the Magic and the 7th-ranked Golden State Warriors. That's how dominant OKC was on that end of the floor. But even the best defenses have weak spots. And for OKC, one of those cracks showed up against the Nuggets. In both of Denver's regular season wins over the Thunder, transition scoring was the key. The Nuggets put up 18 and 21 fast break points respectively in those wins. In contrast, during their 2 losses to OKC, they managed just 11 and 12 in transition. That's no coincidence. You can bet Denver's coaching staff circled that stat, and in Game 1, they leaned into it. Yet, transition wasn't the only area Denver exploited. They owned the offensive glass as well. The Nuggets pulled down 21 offensive rebounds to OKC's 13 and turned those into 27 second chance points. OKC, by comparison, managed just 21 points off their 13 offensive boards. That's a major swing in a playoff game where every possession counts. These little margins, transition buckets, second chance points, they piled up. And by the time crunch time hit, they were the reason Denver was still right there, trading blows with the league's best defense. But to truly grasp how dominant the Nuggets were on the offensive glass, look no further than this stat. Their 27 second chance points in Game 1 were the most by any team in a single game during these playoffs. And this wasn't just a byproduct of how the game unfolded, it was a clear, calculated part of Denver's game plan. The Thunder gave up the 7th most second chance points per game during the regular season, a glaring weakness that plagued them all year. In fact, every team that ranked worse than them in that category didn't even make the playoffs. The Nuggets saw this soft spot and made it a focal point heading into the series. Even more impressive, Denver's decision to crash the offensive glass didn't come at the expense of their transition defense. That's because Oklahoma City isn't a team that thrives in the open floor. They ranked just 11th in fast break points per game and were 6th in defensive rebounds, showing a clear preference for a slower half-court style of play. So the Nuggets knew that going hard on the offensive boards wouldn't backfire. It was a high-reward strategy with minimal risk. What makes it even more remarkable is that offensive rebounding hasn't been a core part of their identity all season. They averaged just 14.4 second chance points per game in the regular season, ranking 13th league-wide. That shift in approach shows just how intentional and well-prepared Denver's coaching staff was. They tailored their strategy specifically for this matchup, and it worked. That 27-21 edge in second chance points may not dominate the headlines, but it silently played a crucial role in why the Nuggets walked away with Game 1. But beyond offensive rebounding and transition play, there's another area where the Nuggets quietly separate themselves from the rest of the league, and that's their off-ball cutting, especially those precise backdoor cuts off pick and rolls or handoff actions. And in Game 1, that aspect of their offense was on full display. Take a look at this play. Murray and Jokic run a simple pick and roll. As Murray comes off the screen, the OKC defenders are ready to trap him. But as I freeze the frame right here, look at all 5 Thunder defenders. Every single one has their eyes glued to Murray, completely locked in, and almost no one is actually paying attention to their own man. That's when Westbrook makes the read. He sees Shea fully focused on Murray and decides to slip behind the defense on a smart backdoor cut. Murray finds him effortlessly out of the trap, resulting in a bucket at the rim. Then, just a few possessions later, Denver runs the exact same action, but this time with an empty, strong side corner, and Westbrook starting from the top of the key. Murray comes off the screen, OKC goes to trap again, and just like before, all 5 defenders are dialed in on the ball. Caruso, Westbrook's primary defender, gets caught ball watching. And once again, Westbrook cuts straight to the rim for an uncontested layup. Same action, same trap, same read, same result. This is what makes Denver's offense so elite. No team in the regular season scored more off of cuts than the Nuggets, and that skill has translated seamlessly into the playoffs. So far, they're averaging 13.1 points per game off of cuts, leading the entire postseason by a wide margin. In fact, the gap between Denver and second-place Milwaukee in this category is greater than the gap between the Bucks and the 10th-ranked team. That's how dominant the Nuggets' off-ball movement has been. So for OKC, this current strategy of trapping Murray out of pick and rolls needs a serious rethink. Because not only is Murray a vastly underrated passer, but Denver's entire roster is excellent at reading the floor and cutting at just the right moment. Game 2 is going to be fascinating. Will OKC make the necessary adjustments, and if so, will it be enough to disrupt Denver's rhythm? As always, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the support, and I'll catch you next time as we break down more film and dive deeper into the game.
It rims out. Brown grabs it. 7 seconds left. Westbrook, 5 seconds. They're down by 1. Gordon got it!